Okay, so just wanted to do a general reading. I got interrupted earlier. Maybe I'll try differently. But one of the first things that came out was monomania, I think it is, like a craze. And then I seen one of the macrame things, so I don't know if that's coming back. And then another one was like inactivity. So maybe you're feeling a little bit stuck or stagnant, or maybe you're feeling like things aren't moving forward in motion. But sometimes the whole reason for that is that so you take a minute to reflect. You are doing your own work on yourself. You're kind of going within. You're doing what you need to do for you, which is really important. And yeah, the universe has a tendency to get you to sit your ass down. Cognition, knowledge from personal view or experience. You could have a lot of knowledge. Maybe you've been through a lot of things yourself. Personally, when you go through certain things and you start acknowledging the lessons that you need to learn in your own experience, you gain a lot of wisdom through that, especially if you have managed to control your emotions. You're not reacting and just strict out of emotion. You're actually using your logic there, and you're not being triggered so easily. Let's get a card for the collective. Just a random general reading, just because I have some time sitting here on my own, doing my own thing. Taxi cab. Maybe I need to get a cab. What can we get for the general collective here? Something. Let's see what comes out. It's really nice out today. Oh, the sun. That's appropriate. Yes. Oh, maybe you're reconnecting with your inner child and you finally found that little pocket. I would say it's a pocket, vibrationally speaking. It's almost like a frequency. And, you know, when you tilt your head back, you take a deep breath into your belly, and there's like a breeze, a gentle breeze or something like that, and you kind of just embrace that moment. You're in the moment. You're not thinking about anything. You're not worried about anything. You've let everything. That kind of vibrational frequency is like almost complete bliss, happiness, joy. And when you get in touch with your solar plexus especially, this makes it a lot easier to manifest things you want. So maybe that's what you're doing right now, or maybe you're really just on your high horse in a good way. You're not too cocky or nothing. You're just kind of, you know, enjoying yourself, your own company, or maybe the company of others that are good influence of you. And when you do that, you get the Wheel of Fortune in the upright, which is really nice. Really nice. Like I said, it's easier to manifest out of your solar plexus than it is any of your, from what I'm seeing, any of your other chakras anyways. Because you can. But the sacral especially, that's like your sexual energy, but also your creative energy. So from the navel down, you get a lot of manifestation energy there, especially if you save it up and you're not just throwing it away. Okay, let's see. What else we got here? Fate, destiny, inevitable, necessity, death, doom. 3 goddesses supposed to be presiding over birth and life of men. You could be a feminist in your own right. Just make sure that there is some sort of understanding there, and making sure that you have some patience and you're not letting your vices get the better of you. Could be a death and a rebirth. You know, let's say you've fallen off your horse and then you get back up. Well, every good rider knows that if you've fallen, the best thing to do is get back up. No fear. Keep moving forward. Don't let nothing stop you, especially if you have a specific goal in mind, or if you know what your purpose is, your destiny, or whatever you're trying to do for your own life. Don't let anybody stop you, especially those that seem to notice you being on the edge or something and they want to take full advantage of any of your emotions. Make sure you have your own emotions in check. Make sure you're doing what you need to do for you. Make sure you're doing what you need to keep yourself healthy, to keep yourself balanced, to keep your inner peace, because there's going to be people around you that may not have done the work. That's actually really fucking hot. That may not have done the work, that want to, not even, I don't even think it's a want. I think it's just energetically an urge to gain whatever power they can at that moment in time over other people because they feel the lack of it in themselves. So if you're in a really good mood and stuff like that, and you feel that people around you are maybe saying certain things or triggering you or trying to purposefully get you to react, do not react. Don't react emotionally, especially. You point out the facts. You say this, this, and this. You could say how you feel, what your boundaries are, what you would like to see. But the minute you start calling another person out, that could start a fight. I was just talking to somebody recently about this. And it's really important that you keep yourself in check, because we have no control over what other people do, what they say, how they think, how they act, whatever their emotions are going through their head. You can do the best you can to be civil with them, but if they're trying to start fights with you, you're allowed to put your boundaries. Listen, you said this, this, and this. I mean, honestly, I'm not going to give you a reaction if that's what you're looking for. If you're not looking for it, that's great. But if you are, I'm not going to respond, because you're not going to take my energy away from me. You're not getting what you want from me, because I'm not upset right now. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're saying is not bothering me. And I don't want to start anything with you. I really like you. I respect you. Or, you know, I want to work with you at this job or at this school, and I don't want no problems with you. But if you're trying to start things with me, just know it's not going to work. You can call them out, say what you need to. Strength can also be the idea of being like in fear of certain things. Maybe you're worried about what other people think. Please don't, because that gives energy to that in itself, that energy, the negative energy, and then you're going to pull it in, and you almost become like you almost make yourself a target, and you don't want to do that, especially if you're going after the Ace of Cups. It's in your best interest to focus on yourself, do what you need to do for you, and be very cautious of how you give your energy to certain people that just want to trigger you, if that's what they're doing, because I think some of them don't even realize the caliber of their words, what they say, how important it is, and their impact they have on other people. Even if a person's saying something to you that's really disrespectful and rude, just knowing that that is not true within yourself, just knowing who the fuck you are, standing in your own power, just knowing that they're upset for a certain reason and they're misplacing that anger, just knowing that it's just a projection and it really has nothing to do with you is very, very important. Very important to be able to keep your peace and stand your ground, okay? Don't forget that. Okay, franchise. Right granted by sovereign government. Right of voting for a member of parliament. I don't know anything about too much for politics. If there's voting right now, maybe you're about to go vote. Maybe that's something you're into, or maybe you're just starting off doing it. Honestly, I don't have an opinion either way about that. If you want to vote, you vote. If not, then don't. You could be starting your own franchise or maybe building up a company. Good for you. Move forward. Like I said, don't let anybody stop you in your whatever it is that you're trying to do for yourself. Make sure you stay on your path. You stay in your lane. And if anybody tries to stop you, you're allowed to verbalize that too. Listen, I think what you're doing right now might be trying to trigger me or trying to knock me off my path. Could you maybe just let me do what I need to do for myself? Would you like to see me succeed? You can ask that. Would you like to see me do well for myself? Would you like to be by my side, or would you like to help me if you're business partners in this? Then I'm more than welcoming you to help me do whatever it is I need to do, but I will not tolerate you trying to put me down in any way or trying to bring some things up that are in a negative manner. Unless it's constructive. You're allowed to verbally say this. We have words for a reason. Some people use it for not so good. Some people use it for good. So do yourself a favor to benefit you. Okay, when worrying about yourself, use your words the best creative way you can to get the message that you need across without overly explaining yourself. If you are looking to have somebody understand you, then that is not going to help you. If you are looking to get your message across and stand your ground in your own power and your own right in a respectful manner, then that will translate. But if you're looking to seek something out of another person that's beyond yourself, I'm telling you right now, you may not get the response that you're looking for, okay? So try not doing that. Find. To come upon, to discover, to recover, to get, to perceive, to discover. So maybe you're starting to discover your own gifts, your abilities, or maybe your own inner wisdom, or you're standing your ground, you're finding your light, and you've come upon old things that you like. To declare by verdict, a discovery, a thing found. Maybe you found something that you've lost, or you've recovered something like your courage, your, standing up for yourself, a backbone or something like that, or your voice. Maybe for the longest time you were quiet and you never knew how to say anything to anybody, and now you're actually starting to speak your mind. You're starting to speak your piece. And by speaking your piece, I literally mean that. You're speaking words out of love and understanding, and not hate and projection or unhealed triggers or anything like that. There's a difference. Because sometimes it feels like when we defend ourselves, I would say, it's almost like you feel you have a right to say certain things, even though you know what the repercussion is. You know how you're going to make another person feel. And you know you wouldn't want that done to you. So instead, understanding that the words that you're speaking and coming from a more loving place may not always seem fair, because you're like, well, they don't do it for me, or that person doesn't do it for me, so why should I do it for them? It's just on you. It's your responsibility for you. It's your peace. It's your good karma. It's you. It has nothing to do with the other person, even though it does, but it doesn't. You're interacting with them, sure. But what comes out your mouth is your responsibility, okay? Maritime. Relating to the sea, naval, bordering the sea, having navy, commerce. Maybe some of you are going on a trip, or you're going boating or something like that. I'm seeing the waters in a boat. Not a big one, maybe a medium-sized boat. Maybe you really like the sea. Maybe since the weather's becoming nice, you can't wait to get back out there. Oh, I know myself, I can't wait to be on a beach. The other day, I was just collecting some dandelions to make tea, like drying them out, cleaning them, drying them out, and I just got like an image of me walking on a pebble beach and the wind gently blowing and me just being like completely in my happy little space, and just doing whatever, picking up whatever I was picking up off the beach. But it was nice. And that kind of manifestation happens quite often. Maybe for a lot of you, you experience that too. It's like so-called daydreaming, which is good. Make sure they're positive, healthy thoughts. If you want to improve something about yourself, let's say your body or the way you deal with other people or whatever, manifest it first in the 5D. Think about that stuff ahead of time. Manifest good things. Think good things. What would it feel like to have this in my hands? Or what would it be like to be at peace like this, or be calm when there's chaos? Or place an image in your head or a feeling in your brain of what it would already be like, and pretend like you're already experiencing it. Do that the best you can from what I can explain to you for manifestation. Because yeah, you pull it in towards you. There was so many times in the past where I was stuck in, I was kind of taught from the people I was around of manifesting negative. So worst case scenario, but it was a form to protect myself. So don't be mistaken like I'm purposefully trying to call in the negative. It was a form to protect myself, because I believed, I was taught, and I believe truly that if I thought about things ahead of time and I could prevent them, or I was prepared for them, or I was strategically ready like a chess game for them, that I would never get hurt, or I would never be put in a negative situation, or this, and this. But really what I was doing in the 5D was manifesting certain situations, and then I would end up being in them. And I would think, okay, well, I'm prepared for this, I can handle it. But I pretty much, if you take accountability for your own thoughts, your words and actions, you realize you created it. You did it yourself. You pulled that in yourself. But it is a way of thinking. And when we're raised and not taught a different way of thinking, that becomes very toxic, and it becomes very frustrating. And I can understand a lot of people will be mad and angry that they're not getting the things that they want, or even the whole idea of jealousy and seeing other people manifest or get certain things in their life. It is a frequency. It's a frame of mind. So even if you were taught, even if you were groomed or raised in a certain frequency and a frame of mind and a way of thinking, it is now your responsibility to flip it, switch it. It's now your responsibility to get in there in your own brain and start doing the work for yourself, and start healing triggers or thinking about situations different. Even if it seems hard, we get put back in the same situation and the same frame of mind. Oh, this is going negative, so what am I going to do? I'm going to cavalcade off the negative. I'm just going to roll with it like a snowball or something like that, and just keep making it worse. No. Stop yourself. Be like, just, okay, this is happening right now. What would I normally do, and what do I want to do? What would I normally do in this situation? What do I actually really want to do to change it? Maybe you're dealing with people that are younger than you, a little bit, you know, stubborn, set in their ways. They've still got some things to learn. They are still managing their own emotions and learning themselves. And no, you can't really, you can't intervene on somebody else's karma or their behalf or anything. You can do the best you can to give advice, but it's like a free will basis. It's like, I offer this to you. You could take it or you can leave it. I'm trying not to do everything for you, but I also won't just throw you to the wolves sort of attitude. And you're allowed to do that with people in your life. You're allowed to help them out of compassion, but not do all the work for them because you love. Phosphate. A salt of phosphoric acid. Maybe work with chemicals. Chemicals in the brain is very important. Maybe you're a bit salty. Maybe some people have said some mean things to you and you don't know how to go about it. Again, you're responsible for your emotions, your response, not other people's. Maybe you work in a company that deals with that sort of thing. State of being. Yeah, so it could be maybe somebody's salty towards you. You know, you're not giving them the reaction or the satisfaction that they're looking for, the fuel for the flame, so to speak. But it's not a good, healthy flame. This is like a more crap-ass fire that's being fed by other people's pain. And that's not the kind of fire you want to be fueling. So if you're not giving a response to them and they get upset about it, that's on them. If you respond calmly, you're doing the best that you can to explain yourself, but don't overly do it. Just state the facts, state your boundaries, what you would like to see, and don't point no fingers, because that doesn't usually help somebody, especially if they're in a karmic state. If they're in a negative mind state, if they're always stuck in one way, your lack of reaction negatively with emotion will allow them to sit with themselves for a moment and sort of reflect, if they choose, on the words that they just spoke or their actions. And they're allowed to do that. They're allowed to go through that moment of healing too. And you can't deny somebody that. Constantly pointing out to is not always going to help. Arbitrate. Arbitrated, to act as an arbitrator, to decide. Whatever decisions you make, just make sure that they're healthy ones. You know, I could preach all I want. I do preach quite a bit. But I do the best I can to practice every single day. My own words. Because I want to improve myself, I want to learn, I want to constantly make certain decisions when certain things come up in my life in the best way I can possible, and approach it with everything that I've learned up to this very point. All the knowledge, everything I've been through, I want to do the best I can to help other people too. Not take on their karma or their burdens. I don't want to do that. I think I did that enough. But sometimes it comes hand in hand, especially if you care deeply about somebody, you want to help them and stuff. But just remember what you're responsible for, which is you. Okay? You can't really go wrong there. Arcanum. Mystery. So maybe like the moon card, things are kind of up in the air. Not sure. Maybe some people are watching you. Star card. Maybe you're just shining your pretty little light, man or woman. You're just kind of doing your own thing, you know, learning new stuff, shining your authentic side, shocking the crap out of people, making sure that you're doing what you're doing for you, staying in your own lane, and people are noticing. Maybe some people are stopping and staring. Maybe some people are trying to get a rise out of you or trigger you to knock you off that horse. That's okay. They're allowed to do so. Go ahead. As psychology would be, you can tell a person, yeah, absolutely. You have your opinion. You're allowed to feel that way. And Maybe I don't agree, or maybe I do agree. Maybe you're right. Maybe I am being a certain way right now and I'm putting myself first and I'm really enjoying it and loving my time for me. Because honestly, in the past I wasn't doing that and now I'm doing it for myself. You're absolutely right. Maybe I'm being selfish or in a certain way, but in a good way. Because if I'm not good, then how do you think I'm going to treat you? If I'm not doing well, if I'm miserable and in a bad state of mind, or if I'm spiraling, how do you think I'm going to be towards you? Do you want me to be nasty and mean and rude, or do you want me to have my space and collect myself so that I can manage my emotions better, so that I can get back on track, so that I can talk to you in a respectful manner because I respect you. I love you. I care about you. You're my friend. You're my auntie. You're my nephew. You're my boyfriend, girlfriend. You're my wife, my husband. You're my coworker. I respect you enough to get my shit together so I don't treat you with disrespect. Give me that moment of peace. Give me that moment of space. Please don't make me feel guilty for it. Or please don't call me out on doing so for doing the right thing for me. You know, you're allowed to express these things and in a different way. Sometimes the way we were approaching it previously with other people in our life was not the best way. You find a different way of switching your words up and making sure that they are explained in a different manner so that another person can get a better idea of where you stand and how much you do respect yourself. Because the more you respect yourself, it will show on the outside. It should translate for the most part. And if anybody's jealous of your stuff, that's just something they're lacking in themselves. They don't see it within themselves. They really need to take a moment to go to that reception desk within their brain and get the directions to where they need to go next in their brain to find out what kind of healing they need to do for themselves or what they need to tap into. That's not on you. Nobody could expect that from another person. So if you're just doing your own thing, do not be brought down to feel guilty for being amazing. Honestly, if you are doing your own thing, do not let others make you feel guilty for being fucking awesome. Because I think you're fucking awesome. I'm confident enough in myself and my capabilities and what I'm doing that I'm not focused on you're awesome. But I will praise you for it. I give you acknowledgement. I will congratulate you for it. I will recognize it and respect you for it. But as far as being jealous, I've got my own awesome going on over here. So you're awesome, I'm awesome. Everybody fucking awesome. But for somebody to make you feel guilty for being awesome, that's not okay. You could sit there and explain to your blue in the face, but you know full well it has nothing to do with you. That is their own things that they're struggling with internally that they haven't fully acknowledged yet. And it's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean they're less of a human being. It doesn't mean they're a shit-ass person. It doesn't mean they're a terrible, you know, they're doing things that whatever. It doesn't mean like they're less than. It just means they haven't got to that point yet. It could mean they have more healing to do. Okay? So you just need to be able to discern the difference and understand that. So it doesn't have a direct reflection on you or projection on you. Dunce. One slow at learning, dullard adult. You know, when they used to put the dunce caps on, I just learned this recently. They just divulged the information that pyramid shape on top of a person's cranium, their skull, a lot of energies and vibrational frequencies that are all around us. Apparently it brings some sort of equilibrium, some sort of balance, and it actually gains a bit more clarity and focus. So it doesn't mean that these people that had these hats on in schools and stuff like that, they used to put a dunce hat on. It doesn't mean that they're dumb. Doesn't mean that they're slow. It means they have a different approach psychologically and in their reality of how they learn. It means that they comprehend things different. It means that their tap into reality and all the energies around them is going to be different than maybe their classmates or something. And they may not learn the same way other people learn. Or it could mean there's some things going on internally, any turmoil or traumas that they're dealing with that makes it very hard to focus and concentrate on their own life and the decisions they need to make for themselves, or even anything that they're learning. It makes it harder to focus and harder to really attain the information and hold on to it. So it doesn't mean that they're dumb in any way, shape, or form. And I don't think anybody should be calling anybody dumb or handicapped or anything like that when it comes to mental state of being. Okay? Domesticate. To accuse. Sorry. Oh, to accuse. Where'd that come from? To accustom. It's split off in the dash, going on to the next side of it, and I just seen accuse. So maybe somebody's accusing you of domesticating themselves or being stuck in the house. Maybe somebody's accusing you of being like a pet. Maybe you're accusing somebody of being like a pet or anything like that. To remain much at home, to tame. Maybe you're going through your hermit mode. You're in your creative state. You just want to be left alone. You just want to be comfortable and in your solace and your peace. And you don't really want anybody getting in the way of that. So you've kind of just pulled back your energy from certain people. And that's fine. There could be somebody that's run away from you or their own problems. I seen orange hair. Like dyed orange hair. Maybe your light shines so bright that it scares people away. That's on them. Do not worry about that shit one bit. You need to focus on your creative endeavors and whatever it is that you're doing for you, and come up with new fascinating ways to do what it is that you fucking do, because you're awesome. Without question. That's specific to a specific wonderful person. Much. Yeah, maybe somebody thinks you're a bit much or too much or whatever. That's on them. Or maybe there's much to learn or much more supernatural things that are coming up. Great in quantity or amount. Abundant. In great degree. By far. Greatly. A great quantity. Something strange or serious. So maybe something's going to happen. I did the moon energy came up again. Something hidden. Maybe something you already know if you're intuitive, but something you don't know the details. Something strange might be coming up or something strange might happen. Just keep your cool. Maybe some people will be acting a certain way to you that's you're not used to. They flip the switch in a positive way and they're starting to treat you well. Or they're starting to be... Don't think it's just like a setup. You're like, oh shit, it's a trap, because maybe in your past you went through some trauma and you're expecting somebody to act a certain way. So don't go straight to the negative. Just let it come in as it's coming in and observe. Just keep on your high horse, keep in your solar plexus, your happy state. Observe. Take it in as it comes. If it turns out to be something negative, you will handle it in the proper way. If it turns out to be something positive, even better. Don't let your emotions get away from you either. You know when you jump for joy and you're really happy, but then you get carried away and then all day you're acting all like spaz? I used to do it too. You get spazzed out and you're just like... Be like, this is awesome, amazing. I'm really, really happy. You can have your little moment, but then you got to still have the balance there. Okay. And you will piss off other people's demons if you're walking around skipping, whistling, laughing hysterically or obnoxiously, but in a good manner. Or if you're just having a good old fucking time, people around you that are not so happy, maybe. They may be disturbed. Pity. Sympathy or compassion, ground of pity, thing to be regretted. No regrets. If other people have regrets, that's on them. Maybe have some pity on them for the way they feel. To feel pain or grief for. To sympathize with. To be compassionate. That says it in itself. I think it's really fucking important that you do those sort of things. You have empathy and compassion for others because you were there. At one point or another... For the most part, unless it's extreme, you have experienced that form of emotion, that energy, that frequency. And if nobody gave you compassion or empathy, then it is up to you to be the better man or woman and do that, not just for another person, but for yourself. You are that good person. You are that inner child within you. You want to help. You want to be kind. You want to be compassionate. You want to be empathetic. And be able to feel, but at the same time hold your own. You want to know that other people are suffering, but that you are not having to take on their suffering. That you are not having to take on their burdens, because then they learn nothing. Because everything that happens to us, I truly do believe, maybe you do yourself, it happens for a reason. Okay. What are we at? 29? Half hour, that's not too bad. Feeling really good, except for the fact that I wore a sweater in this heat. And if I take off my sweater, I'm just wearing a weird ass tank top. Knight. No, King of Swords in reverse. I want to say somebody's done battling you. Maybe you standing in your own light and putting your boundaries down in a respectful manner without stepping on them or their boundaries or their feelings or anything like that has created this moment. I'm seeing here, masculine and feminine, but it could be two masculines. It's created a moment where it's almost like a truce, like waving the white flag. Like, okay, you know, we just do our things. I don't have disrespect for you. You don't have disrespect for me. I don't have hate for you. You don't have hate for me. I don't want to battle. No sword battling. I don't want to fight. I want my peace. I want my clarity. I want to keep my inner vision. Seeing the purple. I want to be able to keep that for myself without having to give that away by fighting. Because you waste your energy when you start battling it out with somebody, especially somebody that's not healed within themselves. You waste your energy. Wholeheartedly, you give it away to them, and then they usually don't use it for any good. They use it for that ego boost, and then what? What happens to the energy that they just took from you? They go and waste it on something dumb if they're not healed, which is a fucking waste. You worked hard for your energy. You work hard for your money. You work hard for your energy. Money is energy. So you work hard for your energy to fill your cup, to keep yourself balanced, to keep yourself happy, to keep yourself regulated, to keep yourself mature with your emotions and the flow going. You work hard for that. Integrating your shadow and understanding both sides of you, your duality, and respecting both, knowing they both serve a purpose, learning the lessons that you're learning. You work hard for your energy. When a person comes along and tries to steal it, you allow it when you react emotionally, especially if you're triggered. If you have not healed that part of yourself yet, and somebody enrages you or really gets under your skin, that's a perfect opportunity to learn the lesson that you need at that very moment in time. It was given to you. That person, they may not know they're doing you a favor, but they are. You can either acknowledge it to them verbally or you don't have to. But they gave you a perfect opportunity to go within and learn why you're so upset. Where did that come from? Why am I so bothered right now? And be brutally honest with yourself. Well, shit. The very first time it happened, that's how you get your Ace of Coins. The very first time that happened is being offered to you. This is a golden opportunity. This is a golden moment. You take it or you react emotionally and throw away all that fucking hard-earned energy. You empty up your cup. You give it to somebody that's not healed or that is healed that is still working on their things too. Because there's some people that are doing the work, but it's a process and a half. That's how you end up with heartbreak, heartache, hurting each other, especially the people that we love closest to us. That's how you end up with that, because you're really hurting yourself. When you don't have understanding for yourself, when you don't have compassion for yourself, when you don't have the patience for yourself, when you don't have that moment of compassion or clarity or are not learning the lesson, then how the fuck are you going to do that for other people? How are you going to keep your peace when you're creating chaos outside of yourself because of your own inner conflict?